Hey guys, what's up? The Minecraft Potato LP here, and I'm doing my first ever Pokemon Y Wi-Fi battle. And this is the person Gregson. I don't really know him that well, but we traded before, and then we decided to have a battle. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this battle. So I'm just gonna start playing it. So here he is. I'm just gonna turn off the 3D so it's not loopy. But he starts off with his Monfernos, and I start off with my Raichu. And I use Thunder Wave to paralyze him before he can do that much damage to me, or so he doesn't really try to hit me that well. And I got the paralyze there, so that worked out pretty well. He got away with it. And I go for Thunderbolt, thinking it would do a lot of damage, and it did actually. It did a lot more than I thought it was. And he goes for a bulk up, so his attack can rise, but he still gets that paralyzation, so it's probably gonna... And then he withdraws for some reason. I don't really know why. And then he sends out his Dragonite, and then I use Thunderbolt, which is neutral damage. And it doesn't actually do that much, and he has those leftovers, so he restored his health. And so then I just decided to withdraw Sparks, because there's no way I was going to be able to do that much damage. Then I send out my shiny Soul Rock, and hoping I can get like a swipe on his team. And then he goes for an Outrage, which actually did a lot less damage than I thought it was. I actually thought it was gonna one-hit KO me, but I hung on with 26 health, and he got an Outrage again and took out my Soul Rock. But it was okay though, because I still had 5 more members on my team. And he has those leftovers on his Dragonite, so it seems pretty useless at this moment. So then I send out my Abomasnow, thinking I could do lots of damage with some Blizzard, and I get the Hail in, so it does extra damage, just in case the Blizzard doesn't knock him out. And then he gets the Outrage again, and I think and I thought he was gonna one-hit KO me, but he didn't. And then he got the Confusion, which is pretty good. So then I got a Blizzard in, and took out his Dragonite in one hit, which I wasn't really expecting. So out goes his Dragonite, and then he sent Infernape in, and he still has the paralysis. But I just switched out anyway, because there was no way. Because if he got one Fire type move, it was gonna kill me. So I send out my Greninja, and he goes for a Flare Blitz, which I was kind of expecting, and it didn't do like any damage at all. Well, actually, it did a lot, but and I got a burn. Unfortunately, but I still hung on there, and I got hit by that hail, and I was like, oh wait a minute, yeah, that's right, ice does damage, but it still almost killed him, and I got leftovers on my Greninja, so my Greninja hung on, but he still had that burn, so it took out even more than the leftovers restored. So then he withdrew his Infernape, because he thought I was going to use a water-type move, which I was, and then he sent out his Snorlax, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this isn't going to do anything. So then I go for a Surf, and I was surprised how much damage it actually did. I thought it wasn't going to do anything. And then there goes the Hail. And it hits Snorlax too, which does a lot of damage no matter how much defense you have. I still got those leftovers, so I went up just a bit, but the Burn and the Hail still going to do way more damage than the will actually do. And then I try to go for a Hydro Pump, but he avoids it, and then he goes for a Giga Impact, and I avoid it. So at this point I thought the Burn and Hail was going to kill me, but I still hung on. I hung on tight with those leftovers. My Greninja is a really big fighter, and I thought that Burn was going to knock me out, but it stayed because I still have 35 health. And then he withdrew his Snorlax again and sent out I don't even know how he pronounced that, but he sent out his Metagross. I think it's pronounced Chiluri, but I used a Hydro Pump, and I thought it wasn't going to do anything, but it almost killed his Metagross, and I was like, what? A Hydro Pump did that much damage to a Metagross. I was so surprised. So I decided to try it out again before my Greninja faints, because I was just about to die. So I go for a Surf, because my Hydro Pump only had like 1 PP left, I believe. And I actually knocked out his Metagross with just a Surf and a Hydro Pump, which I wasn't really expecting at all. And my Greninja is still holding on. My Greninja is just about to die. He only has 15 health left. Then he sends out his Gardevoir, and I was just like, oh, this should be easy. Oh, wait a minute, no, but, like, I thought I don't have any dark type moves, but I go for another Hydro Pump, thinking it will do a lot of damage, and it took out at least half of its health. And it goes for an Energy Ball, which takes out my Greninja. And he had a really good moment. He, like, well, not really. He stayed up for a while. So then I go for my Charizard, and he Mega Evolves his Gardevoir. And, yeah. With half of its health, though, so I feel like it should be pretty easy to take it out. Then I go for a Shadow Claw, and I killed it without it even doing any moves, which was kind of funny. I just took out his Mega Gardevoir, so now he can't Mega Evolve anymore. Then he sends out his Infernape, which is kind of a stupid idea since it's a fighting type against a flying type. And I go for a Fly, and he misses the Power-Up Punch, and I take out his Infernape with a Fly. And his Infernape faints. And then he sends out his Gliscor. And I go for another Shadow Claw. And that did, like, hardly any damage. I thought it was going to do way more. He goes for Stone Edge, and I avoid it, which I wasn't really expecting. Then I go for another Heat Wave, a Heat Wave, and it does a lot more than I thought since he's Ground type. And then for some reason he goes for X Scissor, which doesn't do anything since I'm Fire Flying. I go for another Heat Wave, and I take out his Gliscor. So, yeah, it was actually, and then he sends out his Snorlax again, which has half his health gone. So then I go for a Flare Blitz, and I almost take out his Snorlax. I thought I was going to be able to take it out. And then he goes for a Rest to restore all of his health. And this is the part where I kind of just snapped. Like, I gave up on the Snorlax. But, yeah, you'll see in a minute. He has a berry, of course, and he woke up. I already had Flare Blitz on me, so I already selected it. And this is the point where I kind of just gave up on everything. You'll see in a second after this Giga Impact, which actually does a lot of damage, and it killed my Charizard. And this is the point where I snapped. This is the point where I'm just like, that's it, the Snorlax is going down. So I sent out my Lucario, which was a really good idea, and I Mega Evolved my Lucario to finish this battle, and I finished it off with Aura Sphere. And boom, there goes the Snorlax. And the Snorlax fainted, and I beat him. So yeah, that was the battle, guys. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll have more episodes in the future of Pokemon Wi-Fi battles. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.